Well, and no one steps out like the people in the Midwest when you go, hey, we may need a volunteer or two, and then you get hundreds, if not thousands of volunteers that can't wait to participate in any way, shape, or form to help the event, help the community, be part of it.
Yeah, if you rewind back, I got hired July of 15, quickly built a team together. By October 1st of that year of 15, we had our volunteer portal ready to go. We launched it, and within 3 weeks had 1,200 volunteers. I called the PGA Tour and said, hey, this is what's happened in the last 3 weeks. They're like, wow, that's never happened.
Right.
You've got something special going. And we knew, given all the majors that's happened up at Whistling Straits
Right.
and what was great at Erin Hills and, you know, the history of what was done at the GMO in Milwaukee, we knew the state loved their golf, and we knew there was a passionate fan base out here. We just didn't know to that level. And to have that right off the bat, we knew, okay, something special's coming. And then you fast forward all the way to June of 2016, all of a sudden the doors open and we've got a traffic jam 5 miles back. Unheard of. You don't want traffic jams, but in
Right.
year one, to be able to see that, we knew we had this great fan base coming. Everybody was overwhelmed. We had the traffic figured out by day 2, but it got us off to a really good start.
How did U Ridge come into the picture? Because that's a unique venue in itself.
Yeah, very much so. I think when the PGA Tour came to town, just trying to find the right venue, knew the university connection, what it meant to the city, what it meant to Dane County, what it meant to the state of Wisconsin, having just that natural connection. And University of Ridge had hosted a bunch of NCAA meets, and
Right.
of course the WIA state Boys and Girls State Championships. So it's hosted, but some national, some large scale events, not to the level of the PGA Tour, but it was
Nothing is to the level of the PGA
definitely
Tour. When
not.
that circus comes to town, it's a circus
Yeah,
ride.
but it was really, when you look at the golf course, 2 unique 9 holes, from the front 9 to the back 9, and it really came together well. And so it was just kind of a little bit of a blind faith, but it worked out really great, and really an outstanding golf course that every year got better and better as time went on.
So in 2024, Ernie Els beats Steve in a playoff.
Yep.
Becomes the champion of the AmFam Championship, which is a really cool thing for him. But one of the interesting tenets is he wins at U Ridge, has to defend at TPC Wisconsin, which is 2 different golf courses.
Yeah,
Welcome to the game of golf where nothing stays the same.
Yeah, and the players all talk about being creatures of habit, and that's
Right.
what they love. But it's standing on the 18th green, having Ernie be our champion, outstanding World Golf Hall of Famer, and every year the players talk about how the course got better and better every year as it went along. And throughout the week, the players, even through all the rain we had, were talking about how great condition the tees, the fairways, the greens were.
Right.
And then on 18, Ernie looked over at the superintendent of University of Ridge and said, these were the best greens he's played on all year. I mean, that was a tip of the cap to the University of Ridge team that put so much time, effort, and dedication into prepping that golf course, and to have that statement, I know, meant the world to Phil Davidson, the superintendent over there. So truly having that golf course in great condition. And then now we get to transition and go over to TPC Wisconsin, totally different golf course, very different type of golf that'll be played. We know the course will be in great shape, but very 2 different styles of golf that Ernie and Steve and Jerry Kelly and all our other defending champions now get to take on.
So I would consider Steve part of the royalty of Wisconsin golf. The king of Wisconsin golf in terms of royalty would be Andy North. If you're a 2-time U.S. Open winner, I don't care if you only have 3 wins in your entire PGA Tour career, 2 of them are U.S. Opens. That's pretty cool, and Andy's one of the best.
Andy has been phenomenal, a great mentor to me and the team. He's been around the tournament from day one, has just always been a resource, has hosted our celebrity group each year, which has been a ton of fun. But what he has done for Wisconsin golf and the philanthropic work he's been doing for 10 years. He hosted Andy North and Friends, and the amount of money they raised for cancer was phenomenal. But his golf career has been outstanding. His work on ESPN and the respect he has from the PGA Tour and all the players out there. He's truly the initial king, and you always hear Steve and Jerry talk about how they looked up to Andy as well. And Andy's as good as they come.
The big question would be, when was the last time Nate paid for a golf ball? And the answer would be never.
Never.
Oh, that's pretty. That's a pro divot, too. Oh, will it stay there? Oh, because it's soft, it stayed there. So I want to ask you this. Talk a little bit about leadership, because it's a unique position. I was watching a documentary on the history of late night when it was Letterman and Leno and they were battling and things like this. And Jimmy Kimmel said something really interesting, because he said, look, you don't know how to do this job until you do this job, because there is no template for it. And I would imagine it's the same for a tournament director, because while you may have the basics of what you want to do, you have to impart your own style to it and your own thumbprint on it and go, this is how we're going to do things, and I'm leading you. What is it like to be a leader and to do this job?
Yeah, we certainly knew sporting events. I'd been around sporting events, for large-scale sporting events, for 20 plus years, but didn't know, hadn't run a professional golf tournament, hadn't run a professional golf tournament in Madison. So to me, it all became about the team. Was able to put together a team that were all outstanding professionals in their own right. Had brought on Katie Elliott, who was a women's golf coach here at the University of Wisconsin, who was just dialed into how to run pro-ams and details, and phenomenally organized. We brought in a group out of Columbus, Ohio, HNS Sports Group, owned by the Nicholas family. As soon as you say Nicholas in golf, you know you're in good hands. And they run operations on 20 plus PGA Tour Champions events around the country. Brought them involved, put together a business development team that was highly regarded and knew the community well. So we were able to just get outstanding individuals in each of their respective areas, bring them all together, and I basically looked at it as, how can I help them be great, and then put them in a position to just step aside and let them do their work. So that's the way I approached it. I certainly didn't know everything, didn't pretend to know everything. Wanted to be around good people, but more importantly too, about the good people is, one, they're knowledgeable, but they just worked well together and just understood Wisconsin. Wisconsin has its own culture. You go anywhere around the country, everyone just, when they say Wisconsin, just good people. And that's what we try to do, build good people who work together well, and in the end just chipped in, knowing we were going to be there at 4 a.m. We knew we were going to leave at 10, 11 p.m. We knew it was going to have to manage weather, all that good stuff, and who could just adjust on the fly and just work well together. So that's how I approached the first year, and it certainly worked out okay. Got my trusty little Wild Rock ball marker.
There, it's nice.
There we go.
I got 4. The hard way. Hello, my people. Don't feel any. You want the flag in or out? How do you
like it? We'll leave it in.
Do you like it in?
Yeah.
Do you like music on the golf course or no?
I do enjoy it.
What do you play when you play something on a speaker?
My mind can't. My mind can't listen to itself for 5 hours, so I'll gladly.
All those voices in your head.
Yeah, I'll gladly let someone else fill it with some noise. All right.
We got a lot right on the line.
Pat Stein tells me it's right edge. If I miss it, it's all his fault. It's certainly not
one
mine.
Ball outside right. Oh, did he get it there?
Got it.
Oh, look at that. Someone's been taking putting lessons from someone else.
That would be one up. Good guys. All right. For those of you watching at home, last time I played this hole with Pat Stein, there's some Sandara cabins way right of this fairway, and somehow still found them. So my goal is not to put them in the Sandara cabins. I may have pull hooked the last
smokes.
time.
Did you ring the bell? Did it hit one of them?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that far bad, but I got a peek at the patios. So we're gonna try to find my own fairway here.
There's a group on one, so let's not do that.
Let's try to not do that. Agreed.
There's the cut. Oh, look at that, pretty.
Right in.
Came up a little bit. How much fun is it working with Steve?
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's he gives us the space to do what we need to do, but yet he's there as a resource, and be able to get his lens, right? 30, 40 years, 30 years on tour playing. He's been around so many tournaments to get that insight, get it from a player's lens, and and being a Wisconsin guy too, right? He connects so well with the fans, everybody. It's been a privilege really working with him.
I had to say this too, with the girls, with Izzy and Bobby, it's fun watching them when they get a microphone in their hand and get to do a little something on the range or talk to some of the players. It has to be a thrill for you too to see legends of the game in your event, in your not necessarily your tournament, but in your event where you look up and and then the guys that have played in the the celebrity foursomes where it's been Lee Trevino and Jack Nicklaus, and you know they're legends, and they're standing 2 feet from me, and you're like, yeah, it's a pretty good gig. It's a nice view.
Yeah, I mean, when there have been moments you look around, you just pause for a minute. It's like there's Ernie Els,
Right.
Freddie Couples.
Yep.
I mean, they just
Past champion.
Just what they've done for the game of golf and their the results competitively are just phenomenal. And then you talk about the celeb group, how that came together, and just take the core golf side of things. You touched on Lee Trevino. I don't think Lee stopped talking ever. He talks even during his backswing. But the pinnacle moment, it happened in 2019, June of 2019, 10th tee. Jack tees off. They're all walking down the fairway, and I looked at the group and I was like, take a moment here and enjoy this, because who would have ever thought we'd be standing here watching Jack Nicklaus at an event we get to run, and he's the greatest of all time walking down the fairway. It was that was really a pinnacle moment, and to be able to have that was really impactful.
Well, and you're standing there, and it's like, we have this moment at this time with this group, and there's no way on earth you could have been at Mankato State going, I'm gonna do this one day.
No, you can't predict any of it. Never would have thought. Even as time went on throughout my career in college athletics, and played a lot more golf, was around golf a lot more, worked with donors and sponsors, and golf became a part of that fabric of how we worked with those individuals, and got more in love with the game of golf, and never would have thought even that next level of like, hey, now you get to be on the inside and really bring something together. Couldn't have predicted it, never could have written the book that way, and just knock on wood every day.
Well, and I would imagine too for you, it has to be really gratifying simply by the fact that the tournament has been recognized as one of the best run tournaments by the PGA Tour champions, not by like a little group outside of it, but by your peers. And that says an awful lot about you and the group that you've assembled and how the entire operation is put together.
Yeah, we don't we certainly don't run tournaments for awards. That was never the goal. At the same token, though, and you look on the competition side, players are trying to win. They're trying to win a tournament. Yep. The reality is as good of our team is and how talented they are, we're a little competitive as well.
Yes.
And if to have that recognition that our peers for a couple years have said we're the best run tournament on the PGA Tour champions, and we've won other awards along the way, from sales recognitions to caddy experience to other elements of the tournament. To have those awards, it means something. And again, we're not running it for that, but to know that our work is producing that recognition, really proud of the team, and it keeps us motivated to keep getting bigger and better, and say, how do we top it every year? All right, we got about 150, normally a 9-iron for me. Downhill a little bit. However, ball looks a little bit above the feet, so I got to choke down a little bit.
So what will that do if a ball is above your feet? Which direction will it go, lefty?
It should hook, if I'm correct. So there we go. So we're actually going to go to an 8-iron and choke down. And try to see if we can just hit a smooth 8. We'll see if that works.
Lighting shots.
We're going to see if that works today.
I like this. I like it when you call them. Stay right there. Carry a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good leave.
I will take
that.
If
you're going to miss it, that's a good leave because you're right in front of it. Actually, it's a little short-sighted, but you got plenty of green to work with.
Talk myself into the right club.
Have you gone through the logistics yet at TPC? Because it's a different piece of property than it is.
Yeah, it's as I've told other individuals, it's 95% starting over. We know.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we know how to run golf, but only 5% of it carries from U Ridge to TPC. So it's a full reset, and we started this winter.
Right.
Took a break a little bit as the AmFam champ came along this year. Had to make sure that went well, and then obviously we're full gas pedal into the next year. And we talked earlier about having plan A and plan B. We're going to have a plan A, but the reality is you don't know until you stress test it.
Right.
All right, see if we can get through this first little spongy stuff. I know that's going to be a little sticky here. Just caught enough. Yep.
A lot of bouncy for that.
Yeah, that's probably. I probably should have hit a hybrid or something out of that. But
good for though.
I've always wanted to get good at hitting the hybrid off the green. I don't do that as well, but this was fun. Really great.
Wonderfully done.
Wonderful. Appreciate Pat hosting us today.
Is that nice?
Pat's got a great golf course. Beautiful spot.
And we have his credit card, so we're going to go over to the bar and we're going to put it all on that. If you ever have the opportunity to do that, do that. But also, make your tee times. Go to wildrockgolf.com and make your tee times now, because the season is filling up and we want you to play here like Nate and I have. Now, maybe you'll be as good as Nate, and on 17 and 18 be 1 under. If you are, congratulations. And if you find the ball over on 17, you get a ticket to the AmFam. Good luck with that.
It's a must play. Get up here. Come to Wild Rock. You won't regret it. You'll love it.
Not regret it.
You got to come here.
Preferred Lies is sponsored in part by the Wilderness Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Thank you to all who helped make this project possible.